Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Speed Gaming. I'm August 40th. I'm joined by Andy Marsh. What was it? The technical developer of this game here,
Hi.
Bite the Bullet.
Lead technical designer. Yeah, the game's Bite the Bullet. It's the world's first run and gun and eat platformer.
Yep, you heard it right. Run, gun, and eat. You gotta eat your way to victory. Well, we are here showcasing a sneak peek at this game. Available on PC, Xbox, and the Nintendo Switch, right?
Yep, that's correct.
And as you see, what you eat will affect your character. Alpha 5 versus Capndrake, doing a blind race of this game. Set to 90 minutes, so 90 minutes, and then whoever is at the furthest checkpoint will be declared the victor. And then the next month here on Speed Gaming, we're going to be doing a Chase the Record contest. So tons of cool stuff going on here.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see how these guys do in this game for the first time.
Yep.
We get to see a lot of people play the game, like at conventions and stuff, but it's pretty rare we get to see a couple people with like a really high skill threshold play through it for the first time.
These racers are very familiar with the mystery tournaments going on here on Speed Gaming. One in a couple, so very adept at just getting thrown into a game and start and do it fast. So take us through a little bit of Bite the Bullet here. Looks like Capndrake is on a tutorial stage.
Yeah, so the game starts off with a short tutorial that sort of explains the basic controls to the player. After that, they're going to do a short story sequence, and then it's going to launch them right into the first level of the game. So in the game, you're playing as a mercenary who is tasked with going down to various locations to figure out what's going on with this race of ghouls that are causing an uprising.
Dang ghouls, they won't do what they're told. I did do a little bit of digging before the race. Looks like there's like 5 or 6 different types of guns.
Yeah, there's a bunch of different types of guns that you can unlock in the game. Between, like, you start with a basic assault rifle, but then you get crazier stuff like a flamethrower or a gun we call the critter cannon, which shoots explosive critters out of it.
Because who doesn't want a critter cannon? And as well, the caveat, what kind of differentiates this from games like Contra or Metal Slugs is that you have this skill tree based on eating. And as you see there, it looks like Capndrake eating a zombie on the train here.
Yeah, and eating your enemies factors into a lot of different things in the game. If you eat too much, you end up putting on weight, and your character will be a little bit slower. They have a little bit more defense when they get heavier, but their movement speed and jump height's greatly reduced. But then on the skill tree side of things, there's branches to the skill tree that are dependent on what kind of foods you choose to eat. So you could be like a vegetarian or a carnivore, or we call it a robovore, where you can only eat robots. And they all have their own unique skills.
Very creative right there. Really like that name, a robovore. And that's definitely a unique addition to this style of gameplay.
Alpha 5's taking my general strategy, run backwards and shoot at everything. Eating is also your primary way to heal yourself, so that becomes pretty useful once you're starting to get a little bit more beat down, fighting maybe some of the guys that have some of the tougher modifiers on them. Like Capndrake there, he's got an elite version of one of those drones flying around right now, so it's much faster, has a higher amount of hit points, hits a little bit harder.
Fueling up. Getting a little bit more info there.
Capndrake took like the hardest possible way through that.
Sometimes the brute force method is the quickest.
So Capndrake just went through a random teleporter. These will appear randomly throughout the levels, and we'll have different rooms that you can potentially go through. This one had a bunch of health and a bunch of fat and protein pickups, so you can see he just put on a lot of weight there.
Uh-oh. You gotta watch what you eat.
Yep.
Ooh, and fortunately taking our first death. We also have a question in chat. What are the orange and green bars?
The orange and green bars? Or the red and green ones up at the top of the screen?
Yep.
Yeah, so the top bar is the player's hit points, and then the green bar underneath it is their genetic material. So Capndrake's genetic material is filled all the way right now. If you were to hit down on the D-pad, you would transform into like this big hulking beast. You'll be temporarily invincible, have more hit points.
Is that the Zombro mode in the trailer?
Yep. And then you can also hit it while you're in the air, and then if you do that, instead of transforming, it'll actually trade some of that genetic material for hit points.
Ooh, very useful tech.
Oh, Capndrake needs to be dash punching more. That's a good way to burn fat.
Sounds like he took lots of both physics and biology into account.
Yeah, and he just picked up a fat bucket. He got more. You can see when he stops running, he starts panting. Oh, man.
Tension is building. Well, this is an episode of The Biggest Loser I can get behind.
So yeah, he'll want to keep his eye out for a few things. If he can find a rotten enemy, that'll make the players sick, and they'll just throw up some of their fat and protein. Also, there is a syringe that's thyroid medication that resets all of your fat and protein levels.
Sometimes a purge is in the best of orders. It's like restarting your computer. He's a little weary about that gap.
Yeah, I know. He's gotta do a dash punch over there.
Looks like he's got a shotgun.
Ooh, and Alpha 5 cleared the first part of the level.
Oh, dang. Blink, and you miss it. Starting off that skill tree. Like he's trying to go too high onto the tree. You gotta start with the first branch.
Yeah, and so he'll get the first few basic nodes of the skill tree. That will give him enough to get a little bit more health, a little bit more genetic material. Looks like he's moving on to the carnivore tree, the gorovore tree. So he'll want to be focused on eating meat.
Tasty, tasty zombie steaks. Alpha 5 is tearing through this second stage here. I'm enthralled by this gameplay. So far, it doesn't look too challenging. Of course, we still are early on in the levels.
And Alpha 5, because he picked the Gorivore tree, he now has this little meat friend that flies around with him, and he'll toss him some protein every now and then.
That's nice. It's like a personal trainer.
Yeah, each of the skill trees has their own companion that'll follow you around. You can also get companions from some of the random teleporter rooms that will be based around different professional eaters and professional chefs.
Very funny.
They'll also let you get access to some of the other weapons a little bit earlier sometimes.
The lore.
So Alpha just entered a little bonus area there. What he's trying to do is eat one of every type of enemy, and only one of every type of enemy.
Meanwhile, it looks like Capndrake is finished up with that first stage.
Starting to catch up.
So I'm gonna be sound effects.
Yeah, I'm gonna be really excited to see the Chase the Record challenge once that happens after release. Ooh, Alpha 5 went down.
Looks like they're really interested in those upper branches. But I guess it does help you make an informed decision.
Yeah, so Capndrake's working up the just the sort of general branch right now. That one's not going to be tied to specific types of food, but they'll have some nice little passive effects as he gets further up there.
If these racers eating raw meat, no time to cook it up.
So yeah, Alpha just ate a rotten vegetable, and so that brought up the crafting menu, actually. And if he had more fat, he would be able to add modifiers to his currently equipped guns.
Definitely looks like Capndrake is using more of the slow and steady approach as opposed to Alpha 5's let's just run and gun, and if we find something we'll grab it, but not spending too much time grabbing every little thing.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad for Capndrake. He got stuck with all those fat buckets pretty early on by going through that random teleporter. Slowed him down.
Oh, Capndrake landed in the pit, but not too big of a setback.
Oh, yeah. Alpha 5 is killing it right now. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with how quick he's moving through it for someone who's never played the game before.
Well, must have a lot of Contra under his belt.
It's really taking advantage of the added precision of having a mouse, too.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, different strats based on different hardware use.
So he just entered a meat room, and so Alpha 5 has all these pieces of meat that he can eat. He also has, again, a lot of protein and fat pickups if he chooses to take them. But those might slow him down a little bit.
So Alpha 5's aiming with the mouse. If one's using a controller, how does that work?
So we have two different control schemes set up. One of them plays pretty much how you'd expect a game like Contra to play, where all the aiming and moving is done on the left stick. And then we have another control scheme that allows you to independently aim with the right stick while you move.
Interesting.
And then all the jumping and firing is moved up to the shoulder buttons.
So, tip might be if you're finding it a little awkward at first, maybe to play around with different setups.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we found that a lot of people will get used to, like maybe they grew up with Contra, and so they'll be more used to having everything on one stick and having all the actions on the face buttons. But then other people, really more like modern gamers, tend to be a lot more comfortable with aiming with the right stick and shooting with like the right trigger.
Hear that? A multi-generational game. Play it with your dad, play it with your kids.
Alpha just blowing through it, by the way. He's already on 1-3 right now, so he's getting pretty close to the boss.
And what were there? 9, 10 bosses?
9.
So that's a pretty good pace.
Oh,
Approaching the
definitely.
20-minute mark. One boss is soon to be dead, hopefully. Hopefully he doesn't troll him for the next hour.
And different worlds vary in length as well. Some worlds will be 5 stages long, some will be 3, some will be 4. They all fall within 3 to 5 range.
Any cryptic math woven into the storyline regarding those numbers?
No, but I could make something up. No, we just went with what felt best for the settings. There are certain worlds where we just really wanted to get the player to the boss fight, because the boss fight's like this huge, impressive moment in the level. And so some of them run a little bit shorter than others. To sort of get people to that wow factor a little bit faster. Capndrake catching up. He also just entered level 3.
Yeah, looks like he's not too far behind at all.
Might get to see a little come from behind upset here.
Oh, anything can happen if you watch enough speed gaming.
My problem is I always watch speed gaming for games that I actually like to play, and they just make me feel inadequate. I'll watch like competition Doom and get all bummed out.
Yeah, see, I stay safely within the commentary booth. I leave the hard work and hard gaming to the players.
Oh, wow. Alpha 5 in a tough spot. He's got a wall jump up this shaft, and he's super fat.
Yeah, so get your cardio in.
Getting a little bit of a rhythm going, though.
Reminds me of the one South Park episode where the boys are running from house to house to catch a certain television show. Cartman struggles a little bit.
But he is in the home stretch of this level, so might. Oh, he's got to watch out for those signs, though. As you're moving on this last train, some signposts come by and they can knock you off.
Yeah, great classic staple in video games.
But if he makes it to the boss like this, the added damage absorption of being a big guy might actually end up coming in handy.
And I think I just saw he has that rocket launcher thing.
No, someone's shooting rockets at him.
Oh, that's it.
Oh, they're getting real close to each other now.
Things interesting.
Yeah, Capndrake is nipping at his heels right now.
He's got a different diet, and you can see that's paying off.
Yep.
You might start some online feuds and debates regarding the best diet and regarding the results of the world record.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to that.
And we got our first game over. Alpha 5 taking a death. Capndrake is going to pass him up. Now, do we have unlimited continues?
Yeah, you can continue as much as you like.
Chat pointing out the value of purging, but of course, speed gaming would never condone eating rotten food.
Alpha's showing off some good skill with that dash punch. These jumps are really tricky when you're that heavy.
Speaking of heavy, this music is quite heavy. Any famous names behind the soundtrack?
No, it's our in-house guy, Mitch Foster. He does all our soundtracks. He did the soundtrack for our first release, Coffee Crisis, as well.
Nice.
It does some really great metal stuff. Oh, Alpha got that thyroid medication. He's back to slim and trim.
Very cool. Meanwhile, looks like we have our second boss.
There he is. Now Capndrake's ahead. He's fighting the boss now. Yeah.
Perhaps a little inspiration from Donkey Kong Country 2?
A little bit of that, and a little bit of this great bad movie called, it was called The Zombified Claw. It's this movie about this giant monster vulture that's got this great, just terrible monster puppet.
Nice. Capndrake taking down the bird. Looks like he is gonna consume that bird.
And to say he's got one thing left to do. There it is.
Now every boss consumed, you get a special bandana. And right, you can only wear one bandana at a time.
Yeah, you can only equip one at a time, but they all have special passive effects that they apply to the player. So they might give you more ammo, or they might make you jump higher, or there's like a stealth bandana that will make you turn invisible if you stand still for a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting. For 5, right behind him. And moving on. Stage number 4. So is there a whole lot of story involved, I guess, behind the text box?
Yeah, there's so between characters that'll show up in levels and in between in between levels themselves, you'll be talking to some of the people around the Darwin Corp headquarters, which is the company that hired you.
Right, that was an interesting thing I was reading about Darwin Corp and their monster compendium.
Yes, so they collect genetic information from all kinds of monsters all over Earth and the Moon and all the places where they operate. And so that's where the compendium comes into play, and that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to fill out the compendium for them.
Do we know what's happened on, I'm presuming this is Earth, to create this post-apocalyptic world?
So genetic testing and modifying ended up creating this race of fools that live on Earth now. And so all of the humans have moved up into space stations and stuff.
Oh, so we're in the Jetsons timeline.
Yeah. It's exactly how it happened in the Jetsons. That's why you just didn't see what was underneath all of the buildings they lived in.
Ah, gotcha.
This is what was going on down there.
The lore is deepening. So was that a mission complete text I just saw?
Yeah, so
Alpha 5?
if you see on the right side of their screen, there's all that text over there. Those are secondary objectives that you can complete. And if you complete them, then the game will reward you with various bonuses. So he just completed one of the secondary objectives.
Wow, that'll be, I think, one of the most exciting parts about the Chase the Record, is finding, all right, which one of these do we want to go, which one of them are too much of a time sink.
Yeah.
Alpha 5, moving on. Like both runners in the groove of things.
Yep.
Got the movement down, got the gunning down. Not sure if they've got the eating part of it down. Would you be recommending that they eat more things?
They're both doing so well that it's almost the only reason it would give them an advantage at this point is that they could use the genetic material to transform, and when you're transformed, you have a faster movement speed.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen either of them transform yet, have we?
Alpha 5 did earlier when he was overweight.
Sometimes the best thing when you gain a few pounds is just to hulk out in the gym for a few weeks.
Yep.
Looks like they're nearly neck and neck.
Pretty close. I'd say Alpha's about halfway through 2-2 right now, and Capndrake's just starting it. Oh no, he's at the end of 2-2. So I'd say Alpha 5 is about a full map ahead of Capndrake right now.
Got some big boy zombies. Finds another secret room here. Capndrake doing some platforming with that shotgun. Diesel in chat promoting guesses on whether these runners are going to finish in the 90-minute time slot.
They'll be pretty far along at the speed they're moving.
Yep, and Made Moman, the reason you've never seen this game is because this is a sneak peek.
So yeah, we'll have this Chase the Record challenge coming up soon, and then we're also going to be co-sponsoring Super Metroid competition, I think, along with Ball's Energy Drink.
Very cool. Is that vanilla Super Metroid, or is it the Super Metroid randomizer?
I think it's vanilla.
Both exciting games in of their own right.
Definitely, that's all. That's a really fun game to watch people speed through. And then Alpha 5, I don't know whether he intended to do it or not, but he picked a pretty solid strategy of just loading himself up with protein, so he's a giant health bar right now.
Well, must be a fan of the carnivore diet.
Yeah, so that will help him sort of skip past some guys.
Now, what are the disadvantages of too much protein?
So it's more the lack of advantages that you get from some of the other food sources. Like if you just picked up that thyroid medication and just undid all of that health bar. If you went with the vegetarian tree or the omnivore tree, the vegetables actually all give you temporary passive buffs when you eat them. And they're all different depending on the type of vegetable that you eat. Like some might make you jump higher, some might give you a shield temporarily. So you kind of have to end up missing out on a lot of that because you chose to go with the carnivore tree.
Wow, it's gonna really make this contest exciting. Chat memeing up off of the GDQ Killer Save the Animals. This game, yeah, we're eating animals.
So this isn't a kind place for animals in this world. Between eating them and shooting them out of a cannon, they have a tough life.
That spontaneous combustion thing, the one that gets me. It's like a little bit of puzzle elements with these falling platforms. Gotta shoot down.
Yeah.
No, we are neck and neck. Looks like Capndrake out of there just maybe 30 seconds over Alpha 5.
Yeah, and Alpha 5 just died literally right next to the end of the level.
Oh, I thought that was it. Oh no, that's terrible.
Yeah. He is just right above it.
I should have stuck with that protein diet, skipping out on that thyroid. Was it a thyroid injection?
Yeah. That's okay. He's not too far behind, though.
Just gotta go down, down, down. Luckily, no burning ring of fire. Not even tacos.
We just got a flamethrower, though.
Fire! And boss number 3. Mutant Longhorn Ram. Almost down. Oh, he's got a second health bar.
It's got 3 health bars.
Uh-oh.
Oh, got taken out by that eye laser. Oh, he's got him though.
Phase 2 down. Or no, that's phase 3.
That was phase 3. Shoot his legs out from under him, and then you shoot his arms out from under him.
Ah, behold, Monty Python.
Yup.
It's only a flesh wound.
Alpha 5 right behind though.
Boss fight behind. Keeping pace. Back at Darwin Corp HQ. Looking at some gun options. Alpha 5 having a bit more trouble.
Yep.
I think that's because of the lack of shotgun. But gets him down.
Capndrake is just chewing through it right now.
I get it.
I didn't even mean to do that.
Sure.
That's okay. I'm heading out to Boston for PAX tomorrow. I'm gonna remember that one. I'm gonna need to say that like 2,000 times over the course of the weekend now.
Gotta find a way to work in a Han Solo joke somewhere. And Capndrake, another stage down.
Alpha 5 not too far behind. He's about halfway through this level right now.
You notice any difference or divergence in their dietary plans?
I feel like Alpha 5's stopping to eat a little bit more, which is not a bad thing. Until he grabs all those fat buckets and makes himself really fat again.
It's an item to get, right? It must do good things for you.
It's a trade-off. For sure. I like to bulk up a little bit before a boss fight. Makes it a little bit easier.
Capndrake dodging some radioactive ooze. I assume it's radioactive. It's glowing green.
Those were just drippings from... There's these lightning geckos. And they're geckos that climb along the ceiling. And they're charged up with electricity. So that's like the telltale sign that there's one nearby.
Oh, of course, that makes perfect sense.
It's a good opportunity for Alpha 5 to catch up. The second level of this world is a little bit more of a maze. So there's a little bit more navigation going into it.
It definitely makes a blind race more exciting.
Ooh.
Let's see if we can finish off this maze first. Looks like both have picked up a little bit of weight.
Actually, Capndrake's already ahead. He's on to the next level.
Oh, man.
Yeah, these guys are quick, man.
So we might see that record get chased down to possibly 90 minutes. Well, it looks like maybe 2.5 hours for a first solid run through. And another stage down, but not spending any points. moving on. Ooh, this is a pretty level.
Yeah, he's working his way towards the third boss now. So this is one of the worlds that was a little bit shorter because we really wanted to get people right to the boss fight in this one.
Something about this level reminds me of, what is it called? ActRaiser. One of the levels in that game.
Yeah, I really love like sort of the nighttime setting that we gave this sort of last stage of this world.
Yeah, very cool ambiance.
Capndrake moving on to the boss fight now.
Alright, who's hungry for subterranean sandworm? Tremor, it's a tremor. Or no, what are they called? Graboids!
Yeah.
Graboid meets the Sarlacc pit. Also kind of looks like a Moldorm from Zelda lore.
Yeah, there's a lot of inspirations for this guy. Also, his name is the Arakan Worm, which is a reference to Dune.
Oh, Arakan Worm. Very nice. Just like that, he's taken out. Capndrake gonna take a munch.
He's really pulled ahead now.
Seems to be in the swing of things. Looks like we're moving up into the clouds, into the sky ship, or an airship.
This is actually a hospital. He's up on the rooftop.
Ah.
So yeah, the level he's on right now, he's moving through an old dilapidated hospital.
Thankfully, doesn't look like any hospital I've ever been into. Like, got a little hung up on the stairs there.
Mm-hmm. Alpha making it to the boss. Starting to catch up. He's got the critter cannon.
Ooh, exploding critters.
Looks like he has the flamethrower out right now, which is a great weapon to use against this boss. Oh, is he putting it away? Oh, no, okay.
Alpha 5 facing off against the worm. Oh yeah, that is a good question from chat. What are the food choices like in the cafeteria of this hospital?
Probably all rotten. So probably not too different from hospital food.
Exactly.
It's moldy
Way
jello.
to keep it authentic.
Yeah. Something they claim is chicken.
More probably some lightning chameleon.
Yeah.
I really like that injector. You saw that mutant spawn right there.
Capndrake did a really good job of moving away from one of those zombies that hang. There's zombies that hang on the wall. They're like skinned. Those will slow you down a lot if you're not careful. They shoot these little green spits at you, and they'll actually make you sick, and you'll have to stop and throw up if you get hit by one.
Definitely sounds like something that'd make me throw up. Alpha 5 will be joining us in the hospital in just a moment. It looks like Capndrake has reached a dead end.
It's always interesting to watch people speedrun this game because, like, when we were developing it, we had debug tools and stuff that would refill your health when it runs out and stuff. Things to make it easier to get through. And so it's so crazy to always watch people playing the game like those are active right now when they aren't.
Yeah, I've been finding these videos on YouTube recommended to me of developers watching either speedruns or tool-assisted speedruns and reacting to it.
Yeah.
Quite entertaining. See if Alpha 5 can't make up some ground in the hospital here. Looks like he's got a flamethrower.
Say he has a bigger arsenal. I think Capndrake's edging him out on maneuverability, though.
Very impressive from both runners racing this blind. Ooh.
We gotta watch out for those big guys.
Yeah, getting bopped on the head.
They'll do that, and they'll throw a bunch of guys at you that'll latch onto you.
There you go, takes him down. And so it looks like Capndrake is a full stage ahead. Moving on to the third round of this hospital place.
Capndrake just sent himself back down the elevator.
I was wondering about that.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He keeps hitting.
And quite possibly has found a bug.
I think he might have.
So that'll give Alpha 5 a little bit of opportunity to catch up some ground.
Yes, it will.
Always exciting to see a soft lock. I guess maybe not from a developer's standpoint.
I know, I got a little sick there for a second, like, oh!
Bugs are to be expected in video games. Oh, so Capndrake has to start all the way back. I just noticed that.
Yep.
It really makes life management very valuable. So 5 definitely shooting ahead here. Looks like he's shooting a rocket launcher. It looks like he's maneuvering the elevator a little better. And successfully escapes it. Back on the roof. And looks like that's the end of the hospital.
There's going to be a couple more hospital levels. This one's a little bit longer. There's going to be 5 stages to it.
I think this is what, stage 4?
Yep.
And if he dies, he goes all the way back?
No. That was because Capndrake actually backed out to headquarters.
Oh, that's right, because of the soft lock. Yikes.
Yeah.
That critter cannon is too funny.
Yeah, that's definitely, say, a fan favorite weapon. Really strong, too.
I hope whoever suggested that first got a nice little bonus. Alpha 5 going through these elevators a little more cautiously. Or no, is it Capndrake? Capndrake doing that. Alpha 5 doing more of that backwards gunning. Looks like Capndrake wants to go into that. What's he trying to do? Huh. Well, looks like Capndrake ran into some kind of problem there. Alright, take 3 for Capndrake. On hospital rooftop. Is that a teleporter or something that wasn't quite working for him?
Yeah, I guess so.
And Captain Drake needs a job as a playtester.
I just realized we hit the hour mark there. Only 30 minutes left.
Happy 1 hour mark, everybody. And that's what, 4 bosses down?
3.
Oh no, it does. It looks like Captain Drake cannot get that teleporter to open up for him.
He just moved past it.
Alright, Alpha 5 moving along. Got some radioactive symbols down here. Very nice. Right up and close at that moon.
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
Unfortunately, Alpha 5 is getting a few of those fat buckets.
Yeah, slowing him down a little bit gives Captain Drake a chance to catch back up.
Alpha 5 back on the roof. I have a sneaking suspicion, based on some of these mechanical components in this hospital, that there may have been a nuclear fusion reactor underneath.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's the future. There's a nuclear reactor under pretty much everything, I think.
I'm more conspiratorial. I'd go with the hospital was just a front.
Also,
like,
I'll say also the future. What hospital isn't a front?
It's like the Umbrella Corp. Can't trust them.
I was just talking to my roommate about Resident Evil. I asked him, I was like, do you think pharmaceutical companies really like this? You know, with like mercenaries running around?
With all the pharmaceutical companies out there, I assume there's got to be at least one. I don't think we've seen another Zombro moment.
Yeah, they're being real cautious with how they're using the genetic materials. I would say once people start chasing after this record, you'll probably see more people transforming more. For the increased movement speed that you get from it. Not to mention you don't run out of health while you're transformed.
Maybe they've just not, maybe they skipped over that part of the tutorial and, you know, it's just out of place, out of mind. What in the world? Capndrake.
I don't even know how he's doing it.
Capndrake might not want to be riding in any elevators IRL anytime soon. He must just be thinking, oh, not again.
Yeah.
Looked like he jumped up there, thinking it was the way to go. Now, I can't really see if there's a timer on these levels.
No, so there's not a time limit to beating the level, but there are secondary objectives that you can complete by beating the level under a certain time.
Now, would there be any way for Capndrake to kill himself?
I don't think so.
Shucks. So Alpha 5 taking a commanding lead here.
Yep.
Navigating those elevators like a champ. You know what it is? I bet it's the weight limit. You know, you always see those signs when you are about to press those elevator buttons, cannot exceed certain weight. He's just had too many fat buckets.
That's true. That's true.
That would honestly be a really funny thing to program in there. Alright. Hospital, take 4 for Capndrake. Alpha 5 slowly hopping along with those extra calories in his gut. On a viewer in chat saying that what happened to Capndrake that last time is was trying to jump over the mob at the elevator door. Bounced up off of him.
I'm just sitting here thanking my lucky stars that those are a prefab. I only have to fix one of them.
Definitely might consider asking Capndrake to do some testing here for you.
For sure.
That was something when I was scrolling through the credits of, I think it was Donkey Kong Country 1, and I saw like game tester or whatever. I was like, oh, you can do that as a job? That sounds awesome.
It's, yeah, you have to jump into a lot of walls. Try to find stuff like he found.
Meanwhile, Alpha 5 descending an elevator down.
He's making it to the boss fight now.
Ooh, that's an ugly thing. What's the name of this guy?
Oh my god, let me see if I can remember it. It's the BC2K.
Some kind of serial number going on.
Yeah. Dude, he just wrecked.
Yeah, I think actually what I caught as the health bar was loading for that first phase, Alpha 5 hit him while it was still, loading up. I think that might have taken a chunk off of it. I know there's something similar to, I think, like the Ninja Gaiden speedrun.
Yeah.
Does Capndrake manage to progress, or is he back at the beginning stage here?
Ooh, you know what? I got 2 into watching Alpha 5.
Maybe he's managed to progress? Maybe not. Yeah, unfortunately, this is back at the start. Alpha 5 running away with it. But again, just a sneak peek, both these racers running this blind, and only for 90 minutes, so about 18 more minutes.
About that, yeah.
And then next month or so, we're going to be chasing down the world record. Looks like plenty of optimizing and different strat explorations to be had here.
For sure, there's a lot of different options to the player, so it will be exciting to see, you know, what people end up deciding the optimum strategy is.
I think you guys in the office should take a preemptive bet as to, which diet's gonna be the best and things along those natures. I do notice there's no gluten-free zombies, though.
There are gluten-free weapons, though. So.
Fun.
All the weapons have a rarity scale like you'd find in an RPG, and the different rarities all have, and like the different modifiers you can get all have fun names, like gluten-free and locally sourced.
Nice. That begs the question, can you humanely raise a zombie?
I guess. I would imagine, as long as you give it a lot of space to run around.
Any sustainable farmers in chat? Probably too much farming to do.
Do what they're doing now with livestock and putting like VR goggles on them.
So that really?
They think they're in some sort of dystopian setting and feel better about it.
See, that almost sounds like an Onion article. Then again, that sounds like it could be real.
Oh no, they actually are. Yeah, they're I saw a thing about a farm that has like VR goggles on like chickens and like cow livestock. I'm sitting there thinking like, man, this livestock has a better rig than me. That's not fair.
Man, I would have loved to be in the room when you guys were creating this game, but I kind of want to also be in the room when someone said, hey, we need some VR goggles for a chicken.
I know. I feel like I should be getting into the market of making livestock games, like games for livestock.
It would be interesting to see if different animals would do better in different genres of games.
Yeah, like yeah, I want to, I want a goat that's really good at Tetris. You know.
I think those chickens would do really well in games like Breath of the Wild. Another secondary mission complete right there.
Still moving right along.
Certainly in some sort of government lab.
Yeah, this is one of the genetic testing labs that has been abandoned.
Subterranean, of course.
Oh, naturally. I feel like in these dystopian science fiction settings, the guy that can build facilities underground makes a ton of money.
Elon Musk is trying to do that in Los Angeles.
Like making Black Mesa, that had to have been like the contract of the century.
Alpha 5 has to be a bit careful.
Yeah, he's on this tricky platforming segment right there.
And that is game over. But 14 minutes and counting, it looks like Alpha 5 will get the furthest, the fastest. And another quick game over.
Yeah, that part's pretty tricky if you're not careful. It's like the speedrunner's greatest enemy.
Luckily, Infinite Live, well, not Infinite Lives, but Infinite continues. Slow and steady here for Alpha 5, getting through it.
There we go.
Also slow and steady for Capndrake, but that's because of the fat buckets. Looks like the monsters are a bit beefier down here for Alpha 5.
Alpha 5 did a really great job of setting himself up to be able to just tank damage and keep moving forward.
I think he's got a strat and is sticking to it. So Capndrake finally making some progress here. And unfortunately, we have just about 10 minutes left.
Yep, just a little under.
If you haven't already, check out this game, join the Discord, make sure you give these racers a follow.
Yeah, feel free to join our Discord as well. We always love hearing from people. We try to keep a pretty active community over there of people who enjoy the games.
So at this point, Alpha 5 has, what, 4 bosses down?
Yeah, he's got 4 bosses right down. Or down now. He's, on, I believe, 5-3 right now.
Gotta be approaching something here. Almost about halfway through it.
Yeah, just about. Really moving up that spine. That was nice.
Yeah, very precise jumps right there. Get up there quick.
Capndrake taking on the 4th boss.
Trying out that shotgun.
Wrecking him with that shotgun.
Chowing down.
One thing I've noted, Alpha 5 is really good at using the deflection shield, which is a little shield you can give yourself. You can use to knock enemies away from you, and it runs off of a short cooldown. He's timing those really well, where he's just letting a bunch of enemies group up on him and then hitting it to blast them all away.
It might be a bit of early meta. It'll be very interesting to be back here in a month after people get a chance to race this and really get the strats down.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
And Alpha 5 is taking another dap here.
Yeah.
Got sniped by one of those lightning chameleons.
Definitely interested to see if he can sneak in one last boss fight here in the next 5 minutes.
Well, his name is Alpha 5.
It's true.
Honestly, I might be a little disappointed if he doesn't.
He's pretty close. This level's pretty tough, though.
Himself up with a fat bucket and a shotgun.
Oh, he's there.
Ooh, that's a wicked thing. You know, it kind of looks like a mutated Castle Grayskull. Or maybe if Castle Grayskull and Cthulhu had a baby. Very wicked looking. Does Alpha 5 have the power?
Ooh. Got him.
And nice. So that is half of the bosses down at about the 90-minute mark.
Yeah.
Alpha 5 are running things blind. And honestly, doesn't look like Capndrake is too far behind.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, good job, Capndrake, catching things up.
Looks like we are in a magical forest of some kind.
Yeah, so this is the Mega Woods. It's a giant redwood forest.
Giant magical mushrooms. And are those mutant bees? Those
Yep,
can't
those-
be fun.
Yeah, those are big mutant beehives. They'll mess you up if you run into them. It's interesting to see that the shotguns really evolved to be the weapon of choice here. It does pack a pretty good punch.
Yeah, I think that flamethrower though is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's my personal favorite. I love running around with it.
And Alpha 5 getting another stage down in another teleporter.
Last minute.
Seconds in counting, and it looks like Alpha 5 has gone the furthest, the fastest. So they will be declared the victor of this blind race. Blind showcase race. Bite the Bullet by Mega Cat Studios.
And really impressive showings by both of them. I am flat out impressed.
looks like both these racers have realized time is up. And that is that. Get your GGs in chat for Alpha 5. And I believe Captain Drake, before the race started, stated that he does not have a mic. Yep. But we should be getting Alpha 5 in the commentators channel in just a moment. But in the meantime, join the Discords here. Give these racers a follow. And check out Speed Gaming here. We got some Super Metroid Link to the Past combo rando going on later tonight. Also have another race in the Super Mario Brothers 3 randomizer going on. And then, of course, Link to the Past randomizer always going on somewhere on Speed Gaming. But yeah, looks like a really fun game.
Thanks. Yeah, I was loving watching these guys tear through it like that. I am unbelievably impressed with how good they were at it. So yeah, I look forward to seeing the Chase the Record challenge that's going to be coming after the game launches, and the Super Metroid race that we're going to be doing as well.
Absolutely. And there's Alpha 5. GG's.
GG.
Yeah, great job, man.
I was a little thrown off at first because I tried reading and then I decided that this game was more about eating than reading, and I just I just stopped. I don't know anything I put points into. I just clicked buttons.
Can't read with your teeth, man.
No, you can't. Or if you can, there's some serious problems going on. I think some of the zombies might have been able to. But that was a pretty fun game. A little bit of weirdness and clunkiness, but I mean it's before the game's even out, so.
Yeah, your opponent Captain Drake unfortunately ran into some soft lock issues with those elevators in the hospital.
Oh, did he get stuck in an elevator and it wouldn't open up?
Yeah,
Yep,
somehow he
couple
was getting
times.
outside of it.
Oh no.
But managed to come back there in the end pretty nicely.
Yeah, there was one part in the hospital where I feel like I was supposed to wall jump, but it wouldn't let me cling to the wall, so I just barely punched up there. I think it was in like Hospital 2 or something, I don't know. Hospital felt like forever.
Yep.
I got lost because I missed going up at one part and then ran in a circle for a while. In this game that I would have liked to do, but I'm in a race scenario, so I don't even get to think about it.
Yeah, some of the levels can get pretty big and sprawling in the game, and there's a lot of different ways you can take.
Yeah, and then sometimes teleporters were the right choice, other times they're not.
Yeah.
So it seemed like your strategy of run backwards and shoot worked pretty well for most of it.
Yeah, just basically, if I wasn't running and punching, something was wrong, or my punch input wasn't going through.
Yeah, and I noticed too, you're really taking advantage of the mouse controls on that, which is nice to see.
Yeah, I'm just like, I don't feel like figuring out what the buttons on the joystick do. I can read keyboard and mouse, let's go!
Yeah, that's, you're doing some really precise moves with that.
Yeah, so, some of it is, I feel like, sometimes some of the hitboxes are just way more precise than they need to be. And by that I mean in that doing right now, like trying to get through those logs, those are, and it's like as tall as your character, but it's as tall as your character, so punching through that's...
Yeah.
But it's a fun game. Do your guns level up in damage or something? Because some of those bosses I felt like should have taken more bullets.
Yeah. You guys were really wrecking them with the shotgun. That became like the dark horse gun right there. I wasn't expecting both of you guys latched onto the shotgun. I was really surprised to see that.
Well, so the flamethrower didn't feel like it shot through doors good.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, and the rocket launcher, it's like, okay, I have 10 bullets, so we'll use it if a boss needs a lot of damage. And then there was the duck gun, which I don't know what that did. It said it unlocked a tutorial when I picked it up, and I never got more ammo for it, I think.
Yeah, you'll get ammo for enemies will drop ammo boxes every now and then if you run across the same gun, it will automatically pick up ammo for it.
I never saw another duck gun.
Yeah, you got that pretty early on. But yeah, that's a pretty strong weapon, especially earlier in the game when you got it early like that, because it pretty much, like the normal zombies, it pretty much instantly stuns them if you hit one with it.
Ooh, that's pretty good for eating. And then, yeah, I couldn't figure out how to level up, but the shotgun just felt good. I mean, Doom has taught me that shooting zombies with a shotgun, that's what you do. That's how you go fast.
It's a good point. It is a good point.
And then it had the turtle dove shields, which was good against the chain gunners. So, you know, it felt good.
Yeah.
I really liked it. But yeah, it was a fun race. This is a fun game. It's definitely going to be more fun played at a pace where you can read anything that's going on and not
Actually
thinking
sit back
that
and enjoy yourself.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. Like, I thought when you typed into chat, oh, if you game over, hit that, and like, well, I died, I think. Am I in like some weird speedrun mode? Because like the first stage was a little samey, and I wasn't sure what was going on because I had no idea what was going on. And I took my first game over. I just ran into a pit to see what happens, and I'm like, oh, okay, you can game over. All right, let's go.
Well, for a couple of guys that have never played the game before, you guys certainly, I think, played that better than any of us could. So.
Yeah, I learned what this game was about an hour and 30 minutes ago. I didn't know what it was until then.
Yeah, I was blown away. I don't think I've ever seen not just one but two people play that game as well as you guys did.
Yeah, Drake is really good, and probably only beat him because of that soft lock. But
I was to say he started closing the gap towards the end.
Yeah, but I felt like the last two stages were much quicker than Hospital. Hospital was long.
Hospital 5's a pretty big one, and it winds around a lot.
Yeah, I just usually picked a direction. I'm like, this stage feels like a go up stage, or this stage feels like a go down stage, and I didn't really feel like there was any in between. But yeah, GG's.
Yeah, great work, man. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be back to chase the record down?
Maybe. I definitely want to give this a casual playthrough first, just so I understand the game.
Oh, absolutely. But definitely
I
an
have to
impressive showcase.
Does this game have a release date yet?
Soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, maybe a little longer because of
Yeah.
Capndrake.
If you could hear the audio on mine, every time I completed a mission with that somber, like, violin music, that didn't stop when I just kept mashing through everything.
Mm.
So there's another one. Unfortunately, my OBS is just completely not working.
Them OBS problems, man.
Yeah.
I know what that's like.
But yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it was fun watching you guys. I had a blast.
It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
looks like Captain Drake reflecting those sentiments here in the Discord channel. But I think we are ready to wrap it up. Any final thoughts?
Well, I thought, it was great seeing a couple people, really pro-level talent, playing through this game. That might be the first time I've ever got to see that for Bite the Bullet, so I am really impressed and really loved watching you guys go at it.
I'm just happy I got to play. I didn't know this entire thing has been a 24-hour experience. Basically, I was asked to do it like yesterday, and then I'm like, okay, I'll find out what the game is. Found out it was about 5:30. They're like, okay, this game is about eating, I guess. And then there were guns.
Yeah. I had
Very
a
fun.
similar experience with like, hey, you want to commentate this blind race here? It's like, all right, what's the game? And I was like, all right, well, it kind of looks like Contra, and it's a little more complicated. It has some RPG elements to it, and that was enough for me. And yeah, very glad I signed up and watched you guys races. And as
Yeah.
Andy said, really top-notch gameplay from y'all. Not strangers to blind races, but yeah, it was tons of fun, and always thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting this. Tons of work being done behind the scenes and whatnot. So always thanks to the Speed Gaming staff for hosting this, and the racers for racing this. And thanks for Andy for helping me not look like a fool and give some insider info.
Thanks for having me. I had a great time.
Yeah. Thanks for letting me play your game.
Alrighty, everybody. As always, tons of other content going on at Speed Gaming here. Super Metroid, Link to the Past randos, Super Mario Brothers 3 randomizer tonight. Check your schedule for what floats your boat. I've been August 40th, joined by Andy Marsh, technical developer.
Designer.
Is that right? Designer, technical designer of this game coming out soon. Bite the Bullet, Run, Gun, and Eat. Tons of fun to watch. I'll hopefully be playing it soon. And with that, I think we'll say goodnight.
All right, take it easy, guys. Thanks for having me again.